Well, the weekend is almost here. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is getting pretty close to facing its destiny. As the movie releases tomorrow in most areas, it's already out in a few countries. Andre from Midnight's Edge posted a nice picture of his crazy and wildly packed theater. As you can see from the picture, I think this is hilarious because I think this is going to be most theaters when this comes out because there's just not a lot of hype for this. Disney Lucasfilm has proven time and time again that it's not capable of making good stuff. I think that reputation has caught up with them. And I think a lot of people just aren't really hyped for this movie. You know, Crystal Skull didn't really leave a big impact on culture. No one really walked out of that screaming, wow, what a great movie. So it failed to keep this franchise going. This franchise stands on the original trilogy, and those came out a long time ago. There was an interesting conversation on Twitter the other day that some people were having. I can't remember who, so I apologize if I'm leaving your name off, but they're talking about how you might as well be talking about Casablanca with something like this because these movies came out 20 or something years ago. Probably more than that. When did the trilogy end? I believe The Last Crusade was, what, 80s? Great movie, by the way. My favorite Indiana Jones movie. Love Last Crusade. Perfect ending. Didn't need another one after that. But then they tried it out, Crystal Skull. No one liked it. Now they're like, well, let's do it again. I don't think this movie is going to have a big impact, but it needs one because, never forget, this is one of the most expensive movies ever made. $300 million, right? Don't forget the marketing budget. And even if it comes back $144 million this weekend, like they're saying, don't forget the half of that goes to the theaters. So it needs to make a lot of money, and I don't think it's going to make it. In fact, a lot of the predictions are bad for it. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny to whip a $140 million plus global opening. That's disastrous. This movie needs to make almost $1 billion to make any money, and I just don't see that happening. I don't think it's going to have a good second weekend. First weekend doesn't even matter anymore because you can have movies trot up a bunch of money and no one goes to see it again the second weekend. And that's where they really fail. We've seen this a few times now. These movies have massive opening weekends and then they just fall off a cliff. I think it's going to happen here. I think it actually might make it. I could see it making 180 this weekend. I could see it making 180, especially if that domestic is off. So the domestic for this movie is 60 to 65 million, which is pretty pathetic. Facing the worst reviews ever for an Indiana Jones movie, the Lucasfilm franchise finale, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is hoping to gain traction with audiences and best its 60 through 65 million domestic start and 140 million global opening. And then they point out here that a lot of these movies haven't done very well. And there's also some worry because of the fact that, The Flash failed. The Flash was a disastrous failure. I think this could be a disastrous failure as well. I think this movie has a chance of embarrassing itself compared to The Flash. It really does. Hollywood is at a low point right now. And these past couple of movies have bombed. The only real success story is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and if that movie's budget was bigger, it wouldn't be a success story. That movie is a success story because they actually kept a tight budget on that movie, which all of Hollywood needs to do instead of bloating out these movies' budgets. If you end up sometimes with a smaller budget, you get really great things. because people have to be a little bit more creative to get their ideas across. But anyway, a lot of people excited about this, especially Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who thinks that because she's being artificially propped up, and she is, everyone's grabbing her for shit. Look at these articles. There's one from the Evening Standard. Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Hollywood glow up. Yikes. Don't see the appeal there. Also, not a very good writer, not a very good actress. Her writing skills are the worst. You know, they bring her in to feminize projects. She was brought in for No Time to Die to modernize it. Go look that up. Not kidding. She seems to think that she's going to get spinoffs because this was always the plan. Remember, you had Kathleen Kennedy come out recently and talk about how she thinks it's totally possible for Phoebe Waller-Bridge to take over the franchise and take up the mantle. How is someone's name a mantle, by the way? His name is Indiana Jones. That's not a mantle. He doesn't get into an Indiana Jones suit, even though he kind of does, the jacket and the hat. But it's his name. It's not a mantle. But they think they can carry on this franchise with her. You're an idiot. No, not going to happen. From what I hear, she's the worst thing about the movie. Constantly belittles Harrison Ford, makes fun of his age. She ones up him. She becomes the hero of the movie at the end, if you've heard the spoilers. I'm not interested in this. This is also typical Lucasfilm fashion. They've done this quite a few times where you go see a movie and then the sidekick woman ones up the hero and saves the day at the end of the movie. Go watch Solo. That's my favorite example of this, because what happened in that movie? Solo's about to get killed, and then what's her name? Daenerys, whoever, Emilia Clarke shows up and saves the day at the end. Like, well, I'm watching a movie called Solo, not Emilia Clarke. I can't remember the name of her character. But no, she ones up him and saves the day at the end of the movie. Like, that's exactly what's going to happen here. Because those are the only kinds of stories that Kathleen Kennedy is even interested in telling. So, it's going to be funny. Watch them give her her own franchise after this. How delusional are these people? How are these people still in charge? I'll never understand. She has to know where the bodies are. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Check out my Rumble and Locals, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my Locals.